Hi, welcome to Alaskan in Thailand. I'm here on the beach here, Hua Hin again, about 6:30, a little later this morning. There's the girl doing yoga over here. It's real low tide this morning. One of these days I should go up to these rock piles. There's a rock pier reef sticks out up here. It's completely covered, plastered with oysters. They're small, some are big. You see people come up and pop some open and eat them right off the rocks. They leave the shell, just pop them open, ties probably. Yeah, the whole rocks are just plastered with oysters right up here. I don't know if I'd want to eat them right in front of town, but they'd probably be okay. But today I thought I'd tell you all about the creepy crawlies here in Thailand. Some of the bugs and pests you can expect. And I've been asked before, what kind of bugs can I expect to be bitten by over here? And you know, with every country, there's going to be some kind of pest or bug that's going to bite you or bother you or be in your food or be in your bed at night. You know, it just depends. Some are worse than others. So far here, when I got here, I heard all the stories too. One guy told me don't go swimming because there's sea lice. And I thought, sea lice, we had those on salmon. I remember seeing them when we fished, but I can't imagine them getting on humans because they didn't stick to me when off the salmon. So sea lice, I thought, well, I don't know. And so I didn't swim for a long time. At the time, there was a lot of jellyfish too. I mean, a lot of them. Every step or two, there'd be a jellyfish on the beach. Sometimes just plastered all over the beach. And the waves come in and break them all up into pieces because they're just jelly, you know. The waves, hard waves can break them up when they're right on the beach. And they bust up into tiny pieces. And I think that's what it was getting. They were getting stung by that. And feels like I've gotten stung before by things. And I see there are jellyfish still. So maybe that was the sea lice pest. And then I heard sand fleas. Other guys were telling me about the sand fleas, and I never seen them, and I never bothered me. But I noticed when I'd get sitting here too long, my ankles would be getting bit up when I go back, and I could never figure out what it was. I figured it was mosquitoes were getting me, because there are mosquitoes here. And eventually I started to notice watching my ankles that, yeah, there's a little black flea with some white wings. It's really tiny flea. Like our gnats in Alaska, we had these little tiny gnats. We called them no-see-ums back in Alaska. But yeah, they do bite you and they draw blood and they're sucking the blood and they leave a bite mark. And there certain times of the year, certain times of the day, and where in the beach you are depends whether you get those showing up or not. Some days you don't see any, some days I never get bitten, and some days I'll be sitting here and you'll get bit. Like right now, I got a bunch of them flying around my ankles. They're biting me up. This particular spot under the shade tree, it's dripping some sap or something, so they're probably enjoying living in here. But yeah, and at this time of the year, it's the rainy season. And then there's the mosquitoes. There are mosquitoes here on the beach, especially. I wouldn't walking around the city at night. You're not going to have to need bug dope or anything like that, unless you're in a grassy area. Maybe you might. But here on the beach at certain times, right at dusk, there gets to be mosquitoes and they will bite you. In fact, it got bad one time I was walking. It was a few months ago before the rainy season. There goes a big bumblebee. The bumblebees are this big. And it was before the rainy season and they were thick. I looked up in the sky right above me and it looked like reminded me I was having flashbacks of Alaskan mosquitoes then. It was a big cloud of them. I was real surprised. And they have dengue here, so although I've only heard of one person getting it so far, I'm sure it's around. So yeah, you don't want to get bit by mosquitoes. Put on some bug dope if you're going out on the beach in the evening is my advice. Other than that, you don't get bit around town at all in the evening. It's real nice. And it seems like a certain time of year. I don't know, maybe not. It was a while back. It seemed like the dry season. After the first rain of the dry season, they came out or something like that. And anyway, and then there's these little flies. You guys probably been seeing them buzzing across the camera every now and then when I'm doing my videos. If you have any cut or anything like that, those flies will get in there and bite and eat on that and keep that sore from healing. So yeah, like they're on me right now. You can see them. They're constantly trying to eat you alive. The flies are more of a biting fly than they are in the ones in the West. You know, ours just land on you and walk around. These kind of trying to eat you. If you hold still, they'd probably try to eat you. And like I say, if you have any old cut or wound, they'll be right there and eating at it. There was a guy in the Philippines that had a leg wound I seen, and he complained about it. He says if he takes his bandage off, the flies will go right to it and they'll start eating on his. So yeah, he had to keep his leg bandage when he was outside. Now there's other kinds of bugs here. Like I told you, there was a big giant Asian honeybee hive right next door in the empty lot under the branch. There was this giant honeybee. The Asian bees, these are big bees. I used to be a beekeeper. I raised European bees, but these Asian bees are like 2 or 3 times the size. They look just like one too, but they're just about 3 times the size. Huge things. There was a hive of those. Man, if you got into messing with those, they would kill you. I was warned that they do kill people, and I bet you they do. You get 50 of those on you and you'd probably be dead. So it could be really bad, those things. But yeah, you don't mess with bees in Asia. And there's also tiny stingless bees I've seen. I found a couple of hives where they live in a little hole. Stingless little tiny itty bitty bees. And then there's a medium-sized little honeybee too. I've seen that one. And then I think I even seen the European size. I study bees all over and watch them, and I noticed them here. And there's like 3 or 4 species here that I've been able to identify. And then we have the creepy crawly kind of things that, you know, things that literally nightmares are made out of. We have them here in Thailand, man. I walked up to one thing that was laying in the puddle one time. Maybe I'll use it in the thumbnail if I still have the picture. I uploaded a short of it. You guys look way back. But yeah, it was laying in a puddle. It was about this long, kind of a fat worm, and it had these legs sticking out, you know, definitely. They weren't thin. They were kind of like, it was pretty sturdy legs, creepy looking thing. And I was up there and I seen it, and it was in a puddle, and I tapped it. It looked like it was dead, and I tapped it on its back, and it wiggled. Or before I tapped it, I picked it up and it started wiggling. And I put it back down. I thought it was dead in that puddle there. And a Thai was standing there. He was doing some work on a house next to me. He looked at me and he came over and he said, no. Don't touch, it'll bite you. And I said, oh, really? He said, yeah, don't touch. Because I was doing that to it when he came over after I was playing with it. He said, no, it'll bite you. He couldn't speak English, but he motioned it would bite you. And I said, really? Yeah. And then he was able to say, it's a baby one. He said, baby one. And I said, baby one? It was this big. He said, baby one. Okay, yeah. I thought he was over exaggerating or whatever. I was walking down here on the beach just about 3 weeks ago, and I'd seen another one laying on the beach, and it was baby. This one was this big, giant thing. And yeah, so you don't, and he said that thing could bite you. And I seen a friend here that got bit by something. He went to the doctor, and the doctor told him, I think it was one of those things. But yeah, his whole thumb, his whole pinky swelled up just like a big giant knot. And he said they walked in, the doctor knew right what it was and told him there's nothing you can do, just go home and let it go down. But it was huge. He showed me a picture of it. But yeah, there's those. I don't know where they come from or where they live. And I've only seen 2 of them, but damn, they were ugly looking creatures, monsters. You have one of those on your face, it would be horrible. But there's those. And then there's these long centipedes. They're hard shell, like they could curl up if they wanted to. They look like a hard, but they're big. Some of them are big. They're like brown, and some are gray. I've seen a light gray species going by. They don't harm you. I've never seen those harm you. But then there's I never realized the other day I was walking and there was leeches, a leech on the walkway coming from a field of grass, a big leech. I didn't know if it was a leech or not, but yeah, sure enough, I tried to touch it and it sucked right down to the concrete. It was a leech. Out up on dry land, you know, what's it doing? And then I looked at the weeds and the tall weeds where it came from, and I bet if I would have walked through those tall weeds, I bet I'd got leeches on me. I don't know if I would have for sure, but I probably would have. And so yeah, there's leeches around here. And then I saw another one here on the beach, and that's in salt water. How could they be on the beach if they live in the salt water too, I guess? I've swam and I haven't got any leeches on me. So that's something that I was just concerned about. But anyway, and then as far as creatures, I've lizards here in Thailand. We got lizards right in the house. You'll be sitting in the Philippines too. You'll be in your house. I don't care where you are, who you are. You'll be in your house. There'll be lizard climb up the wall. You won't know how they got in there. I had one climb out of the toilet. I was in there. It lived in a hole where the water came out. The toilet's got the water spouts up on top of the bowl, and there's little holes. The lizard lives in there. He comes out, drinks water, and goes back in. So there's lizards. Yeah, I turned on the light last night and lizards took off running across the floor. It's just part of living. They ain't going to hurt you. Although I've seen some big ones. And then there's the lot next door. I seen some kind of dinosaur looking, not iguana, but yeah, big lizards walking around here. Monitor lizards is what they have. I've seen two of them so far, big ones. One was about 3 foot long, walking right through the neighbor yard. And another one I seen swimming down at Chakiab beach down there, swimming across the canal. I got it on video in one of my videos of that temple. I got a video, a little bit of it swimming across and going under the pilings of a house. So yeah, you got big lizards here too. I've seen snakes dead. I've never seen any live ones yet. A buddy of mine posted a short. He had a live one in a tank of water, I think near him somewhere. But yeah, I've never seen a live one. I've seen 3 or 4 dead ones now on the roads right here in Hua Hin. I just saw one the other day, a couple of days ago, flattened right on the road, right out in front of the condo here, just right down the road. So snakes in the town too, you got to be careful of. I don't know, I never hear anybody getting bit. I've never seen a live one yet, but they're here. We do have creepy crawlies. There's bats. I've seen a lot of bats. They have a lot of butterflies, even big butterflies that fly at night. They have a big dark colored butterfly. It flies at night. I got hit by one the other day. I thought it was a bat. I screamed like a little girl. Ah! It was a big butterfly on my face. Yeah. It was at night. I figured it had to be a bat, but it wasn't. And in the Philippines, they had the big fruit bats. I had a guava tree out in front, and the big giant bats would come in at night. I seen them a couple of times out there eating out of the fruit. Giant 3 foot long wings hanging there eating the fruits right outside my door at one time. Kind of freaky. So yeah, there's some creepy crawlies in Asia you're going to have to be wonder about and be careful about. You know, like I say, I'd recommend a little bug dope if you're going out on the beach, or if you're going out in a grassy area in the evening. Here in Thailand or in the Philippines, same. There's mosquitoes. And sometimes living on a ground floor, if you're living next to a green, grassy lot or a swampy area, you'll get mosquitoes in your building at night. You know, when you're opening your door and stuff, they'll come in during the day. I've had that problem when I lived on a lower level before with a nice grassy meadow out there. I had a mosquito problem I had to be careful of because they would come in the door during the day and hide, of course, and then bite you at night. I'd wake up in the morning and I'd have about 10 mosquito bites. So yeah, pick where you're going to live too. That's kind of important. Up higher you go, the less mosquitoes you'll have too. So there's also cockroaches. I've seen a lot in the Philippines. Here in Thailand, there's some, not so much as the Philippines, but they're here. But yeah, in the Philippines, you see them scattering all over. I seen what I think was a cockroach. I got a picture of that. Maybe I'll use it for a thumbnail. It was a bug this big. It was dead. I picked it up. I couldn't believe it. It was huge, big. I think it was a cockroach. It had wings. It looked like a cockroach. Thing was huge, the biggest bug I've ever seen. So yeah, you never know what you're going to see around here. And I'm sure I haven't discovered them all yet. There's some waiting to freak me out, I'm sure. I'm not scared of bugs. In fact, Alaska had, you know, the clouds of mosquitoes there were just, you guys wouldn't believe it. You guys wouldn't believe it. They actually kill the moose by suffocating because the moose can't breathe because of so many mosquitoes. And some, I've heard of that. They die, and it killed all the moose. One year they did that. So yeah, the mosquitoes, and then the white socks in Alaska, and then the no-see-ums we had. It was just one plague after another. Yeah, bugs, you don't want to live there if you don't like bugs, that's for sure. But anyway, it's a beautiful morning. The clouds are hanging in. I think I'm going to go for a swim. It's low tide. I've been sweating. This monk feeds the pigeons here, and they follow him wherever he goes. I'll give you a look around before I shut her down. Hope you enjoyed today's little episode. Couple of babes over there waiting for you guys. This girl here, she does yoga videos every morning out here. She's in like her 60s too, I think. No, maybe she's not. Yeah, beautiful morning. I'm not the only one out here. There's a lady with her selfie pole over there. She's doing yoga. I give money to this monk a couple times. They don't do so good sometimes. Always feeds the pigeons. Fishermen are coming in. What a great life here in Thailand. Could be worse. It could be worse. I could have stayed in the Philippines. Philippines is beautiful just like this too. Just got to find your place. I found mine, I think. Well, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. We'll see you in the next one.